everyone, it's Bakington, back at it again. If I sound funny, it's because I'm very sick right now. I actually have COVID and haven't left my house in several days. However, like many Americans during the pandemic, I'm not going to let a little sickness stop me from enjoying myself and having a fun time. Except you should actually follow the regulations and quarantine like I'm doing. Please don't make another pandemic. I like having a job. It is July 2nd, which means Pride Month is over, so back in the closet we go. Ta-da! Hopefully that looked okay in editing. Now, I've got two recipes here for you today to spruce up your 4th of July barbecue. The first will be an American flag nacho tray, and the second will be an American flag tres leches cake. Now, I love a good bit of irony, so I chose these two, and I like making these things because they take bits of Mexican culture, although that being said, I'm told nachos are actually from Texas, but like the Tex-Mex border, hence why it's called Tex-Mex. But that being said, both things are traditionally quote-unquote Mexican food, but we're doing with an American twist. Kind of like me, I am 100% ethnically Mexican. I consider myself 100% full red-blooded American. I cut myself and like bald eagles screech, Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses S. Grant. I have Walmart in my veins. I haven't lost my fever delirium. Things are getting really weird. We're on day like 6 now. To start, crack 5 eggs into a bowl. Then add 1 cup of granulated sugar, and then beat the eggs and sugar until it becomes thick and pale and leaves a trail when you drag your whisk around. I'll show you, but you're gonna have to beat it for longer than you think. Now we're gonna add a hefty splash of vanilla, because everything is bigger in America. And we're gonna add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour, and a teaspoon of baking powder, and a big pinch of salt. And we're gonna beat all this together. And a mixture of 1/2 cup of milk and 4 tablespoons of melted butter. Just mix all that together. Now I'm gonna grease a 13x9 pan with some butter, but whatever you do it liberally or conservatively, depending on what side of the political aisle you lean on. Doesn't matter to me. And we're gonna dump in our cake batter, scrape it out with your pink pig spatula. Now we're gonna put this in a 350-degree oven for 30 to 35 minutes until it's nice and cooked. Now while I'm waiting for my cake to bake, I'm gonna butcher this watermelon because you can't have a 4th of July barbecue without watermelon. Pow! Beautiful! This is my husband and I's favorite, summertime snack. I keep just a big bowl of watermelon in the fridge. And look at that, some watermelon for my 4th of July barbecue. Now, I have an aura in my eye right now, which means I'm gonna have a migraine in about half an hour, so we gotta hurry this up and grab ourselves a 4-cup measuring cup, or you could just do this in a bowl. Pour in 1 can of sweetened condensed milk. Now we're gonna add 2.5 cups of milk, preferably whole milk, and my secret is 1 cup of heavy cream. And we're gonna mix everything together until it's all smooth. Now, my cake has been baked and cooled, which is very important. Don't do this while it's hot. You're gonna pour on your milk mixture. And you'll see, in real time, the cake is soaking up all of that milk, because you can also poke it with a fork to help it, but as you can see, because of how much air we whipped into it and how long it was baked, it's a little on the dry side. Sponge cakes like this are typically a little dry. It feels like too much milk, I'm sure, but trust the process. Now I'm gonna cover this in plastic and stick it in the fridge to chill for at least 4 hours, or I'm gonna do it overnight because my head is pounding, so I'm gonna go lie down. Anyway, forget all that, let's make some American flag nachos. Now, let's make our nachos. First, we're gonna get ourselves a baking sheet and some baking paper. Hey, wait a second, that's French. No, this is America. We speak English. So, I got myself some baking paper. I'm gonna take a sheet of baking paper and spread it out. I'm gonna put some white tortilla chips all around it. Now I'm going to douse the white chips with some Monterey Jack cheese. Normally I would also use cheddar, but for consistency of color, we're just gonna stick to Monterey Jack today. I've slapped together some chili. This is black beans, ground turkey, then I added cumin, cayenne, chilies, like adobo chilies, a bit of stock, and then I let it bubble down until it was nice and thick with a little bit of salt, pepper, and some Mexican oregano. And I punched up the color with some red food coloring, but I don't think it's red enough. I gotta add the ingredient that makes it very American, some good old American red 40. Woo, take that RFK. Much better. A bowl of blood, bloody meat. My husband makes horror movies, and this looks like something that one of his, like, dummy bodies would shoot out. Now I'm going to arrange the chili in lines to represent the different, oh no! Get over there. I gotta fix this somehow. It's bleeding! I'm gonna squeeze one more line in. It's not a true American flag because we're missing all the lines, but you know what? It's close enough for government work. I think we're done now. You're sorely mistaken. I'm gonna take myself some white queso and go down this way. Don't go too crazy with this because it will expand in the oven. It's probably a good idea at this point to tell you, I can't taste anything, and I haven't been able to for several days now. So this is where I would tell you, oh, here's the recipe with all the flavors and wonderful things we're gonna have marrying together, but honestly, I don't know. If I get my sense of taste back and this chili tastes bad, oh well. But I'm sure you have your favorite chili recipe, or you could just use some ground meat. We're gonna slap this in a 350-degree oven for 5 to 10 minutes just to warm everything through. And look at how fun this looks. I swear. Like, again, you're gonna add the cilantro, you're gonna add the guacamole, you're gonna add your tomatoes, all your other stuff. But this is gonna be so fun to bring to your next 4th of July picnic or barbecue or whatever you're doing. Try one of these nachos. Mmm. Fantastic. 1000%. No notes. Do you believe that? I can't taste anything. It sucks. Someone put me out of my brain! Alright everyone, it is now the next morning and I tested again. Still sick, but at least I don't have a migraine anymore, so there's that. So let's check in on, I sound awful today, goodness gracious. Let's check in on that tres leches cake. It has now been overnight, so let's have a look at this tres leches cake, and as you can see, most of the milk's been absorbed, but that's okay. We want to make sure there's plenty, and there should be, when you cut into it, a little puddle at the bottom. Now, this part's dealer's choice. Traditionally, and to have a nice canvas for decorating, you cover the top with whipped cream. This is just heavy cream, powdered sugar. Now let's decorate. I got myself some fresh blueberries here. Ta-da! Now, let's start with the lines. Some sliced strawberries, and we're just gonna lay them overlapping across the cake. I'm actually gonna start at the other end after the first line to ensure that I get the spacing correct. I don't necessarily need to get all the lines in, but I do want to make sure that they're spaced relatively equally apart. Ta-da! Ta-da! Look at this. It looks fantastic if I do say so myself. If I could smell, it would probably smell amazing as well. If I could taste, this would probably be amazing. To be fair, I can feel, like you can feel that sweet tingle, and I get almost the very faint idea of cream in the back of my throat, but that's about it. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe down below if you want to see more content like this in the future. I have a couple more themed recipes coming down the pipeline. I just gotta work through them a little bit, and you know, once I feel better, I can start doing more stuff. And if you are not from the great US, let me know in the comment section where y'all are from. I do love to find out where all my viewers are located. Alright everyone, see you next time. Peace. So yeah, happy 4th of July. Suck it, Britain.